You got me in the backspin, spinning and I can't tell where to get the magic. I just gotta have in the light, I had a vision. In the dark, a premonition. You took my dreams and now I'm back.
Hey guys, today we're going to talk about Elijah Craig. It's a bottle of whiskey that is distilled by Heaven Hill Distillery, and this is the Elijah Craig single barrel. And I'm very lucky to get this. This was batch A122, which I've heard a lot of really good stuff about it. So let's see if we can open this thing up. That smells good. So before man, that smells, that might be the best smelling whiskey I have ever smelled. Really, really. I'll give you some notes here in just a minute, but I want to talk a little bit about Elijah Craig. Elijah Craig was a frontiersman, a pioneer. He was from Virginia, and he was a preacher. He was a Baptist preacher. And so he preached all throughout Virginia. He would go down North Carolina, but one time he was arrested for preaching without a license. Okay, so, and the people that filed the charge was from the Anglican Church, which was kind of like the Church of England. And they didn't like that he was preaching some of the things that he was preaching, because probably fire and brimstone and things like that. But he was not a really loud person, as historians say. He was kind of a quiet, mild-mannered man. But he would just tell things straight to the point, I guess. So he was arrested, put in jail, and spent a little time there. When he got out, he decided to move west, and when we mean west, to Kentucky. So he left Virginia and went out west to Kentucky, which was still part of Virginia, but it was territory that was kind of very frontiersmanish, very wild, and very remote. And it was there he found a plot of land that was on a water shelf, had a creek running through it. Great limestone, as you know, runs through that whole Bourbon kingdom. That the water, a lot of people say the water is why the Kentucky bourbon is better than anywhere else. I don't know. But he was a businessman. So he set up shop close to what is now Georgetown, Kentucky. Had 4,000 acres eventually in and around Georgetown, Kentucky. And it was there, I mean, he started a paper mill. He had a distillery, which is a known fact. A lot of people say he was the father of bourbon whiskey. We don't know. He did. The story is that there was a fire that broke out. It charred the inside of some of the barrels. And so he accidentally aged the whiskey in the barrels, and that gave it the color and the char, the color of the whiskey, which is now brown. And it gave it a different taste, which was very cool for that time. It was like a, you know, had the brown sugar and all that kind of stuff, the taste from the oak barrels. So the story is he was the father of bourbon. Now, whether he accidentally did that or on purpose, nobody knows. We really don't have any information. But he went on and led a, you know, he continued to preach out there. He opened up the Rittenhouse School, Rittenhouse Academy. And so he loved education and wanted to further people's education. Going back when he was arrested, one of the reasons he was arrested was because he was preaching to both blacks and whites, and some of the church didn't like that. So, but he felt all people needed to hear the word, and he felt like all people needed to be educated. So that's pretty cool. Now, I'm going to try this because you're probably tired of hearing me talk. You can smell on that whiff, I could smell the caramel and what seemed to me like a little brown sugar, and also some vanilla. Maybe a little hint of fruit, some red fruit, but I'm not quite sure. It just smells great. The Elijah Craig bottles, you can see, this is a barrel proof, so it's 120.8. That means you're 60.4% alcohol. So 60.4. This thing's gonna have some heat, although I'm not smelling it too. You do get a little ether on the nose, obviously. So let's check this. Let's check this out. Oh my. Oh my. Sweet up front, and then you get it's like waffles with the richest syrup that you could ever have, and then it just continues on, and you get some cinnamon, and then you get some heat. But what's really interesting is that it's 120 proof, and it's not like knocking you out. It's very smooth, full of flavor. Of course, let's try another sip, see if I get the same thing. Wow. It is just amazing flavors. It's just so sweet up front, that sort of like a vanilla ice cream sprinkled with caramel on it. Then it goes back to what's like one of those shortbread cookies on that taste, like a really buttery shortbread cookie, and then it gets the heat. I love the long finish. Very, very good. Wow. Wow. Guys, that whiskey is good. I'm going to give Elijah Craig, who's got this sexy bottle from Heaven Hill Distillery, named after the father of bourbon. That's a 93. That is a 93. It's a superb whiskey. $93. That might be the highest score I've given. I had to go back and look, but it's a 93. maybe 94, but we're going to stick with 93. If you got a chance to go out and get Elijah Craig, the barrel proof A122, you should get that. I don't know if it's a single barrel, but it's barrel proof. Straight, it's uncut, straight from the barrel without chill filtration. Great stuff. Got a 93. The only whiskey that I can think of that got a higher score was Russell's Reserve single barrel, which I gave a 95. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. And it was only fitting to come out into the woods, into the wilderness, to pay tribute to Elijah Craig and this fabulous whiskey. Take care.
In the light, I had a vision. In the dark, a premonition. You took my dreams and now I'm bound to you. Tell me, babe, what are we gonna do? 'Cause you got me in a bad spell. Spinning and I can't tell where to get the magic. I just gotta have it. 'Cause you got me in a bad spell. Spinning and I can't tell where to get the magic. I just gotta have it. Pick me up or put me down. Why you keeping me around? You're my illusion that I'm running to. Tell me, babe, what are we gonna do? 'Cause you got me in a bad spell. Spinning and